Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It's 9 p.m. and it's time for the English news edition. Here are the headlines. President Gele participated in France's official tribute to its former head of state. And foreign affairs, the maritime transport capacity building project in the Gulf of Tajura. And Sebastian Kurz wins early legislative elections in Austria. Hello and welcome again. The President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, sent today, Monday, a message of congratulations to his Chinese counterpart, Mr. Xi Jinping, whose country is celebrating its national holiday. In his message, President Guelleh wished Mr. Jinping success and more well-being, prosperity and fulfillment for the friendly people of China. He then used this telegram to rejoice in the privileged nature of the tie of friendship and cooperation that our country maintains with the People's Republic of China. Rest assured that we'll continue to pay particular attention to the preservation and success of the win-win partnership that unites our two countries in almost all areas. Development, he wrote in substance. We are also proud of the confidence placed in Djibouti in the implementation and affirmation of the Chinese-inspired transcontinental economic program on One Belt, One Road. The Djibouti head of state also noted before reiterating his good wishes to President Xi Jinping and the entire People's Friends of China. The President of the Republic, Ismail Omar Guelleh, took part today in Paris in the official tribute that France will pay to its former head of state, Jacques Chirac, who passed away last Thursday. During his participation in France's solemn tribute to Jacques Chirac, President Guelleh attended along with many others head of state and government of the world. All the stage schedules for this ceremony, including a funeral at the Anglais Supplies in Paris and a minute of silence at the Élysée Palace. President Guelleh, who will take part in a lunch hosted by President Macron and his wife for foreign heads of state and government, will also write a message in the register of condolence opened at the Élysée. As proof of our country's esteem for the late former French president, the Djibouti head of state immediately rallied France to his recent trip to New York to take part in Jacques Chirac's funeral. The participation of the President of Djibouti in the official tribute dedicated to the memory of the former French president, a friend of Djibouti who has worked hard to strengthen privileged relations between the two countries, follows a previous telegram of condolence and compassion from President Guelleh immediately after the announcement of the death of the illustrious French leader. And here in Djibouti today at 3 p.m., a minute of silence was observed at the French embassy in Djibouti in honor of former French President Jacques Chirac, who died Thursday in Paris. Senior members of the government, including the Speaker of the Assembly, the head of diplomacy, the Minister of Finance, the various army corps, the diplomatic corps, and the French residing in Djibouti paid this vibrant tribute, a moment of solemn recollection dedicated to the memory of Chirac, an enlightened and wise man who left his mark on the history of his country and the whole world. The French ambassador, Mr. Arnaud Guillois, full of emotion, paid tribute to the late president, describing him as a charismatic man with empathy. And now our Minister Mahmoud Ali Yusuf also paid tribute to the late president. In his speech, he stressed that this death was an enormous loss for the French people, a man with a big heart known for his sense of duty and his fight for peace. Parliamentarians return to the National Assembly tomorrow, Tuesday, October 1st. The importance of this important national event will be marked by the speech of the President of the National Assembly, Mr. Mohammed Ali Hamad, who will highlight the responsibility of parliamentarians on the set of principles aimed at consolidating democratic civic values, the need to improve the quality of parliamentary work, and the adaptation of a governance approach in order to meet citizens' aspirations and serve the public interest. The Prime Minister will also deliver his speech as usual and will focus the general policy of the executive, which will lay the foundation for the major priorities set, particularly social infrastructures and the impact of growth on job creation. And now an exchange of notes. A ceremony was held this morning between Foreign Minister Mohammed Ali Yusuf and Japanese Ambassador Koni Yonetani. Let's listen to Idris Mahmoud.
Was held in this morning between the Foreign Minister of Djibouti, Mr. Mahmoud Ali Yusuf, and the Ambassador of Japan, Mr. Koni Yonetani. This exchange focused on the project of building capacity in maritime transport in the Gulf of Tajora in an amount of 6 billion and 600 million of Djibouti franc. The project includes the supply of a second ferry boat and the rehabilitation of the port infrastructure. They will bring the city of Djibouti closer to the region of Tajora. This is the continuation of the first ferry given in 2009 by Japan, which now has more than 70,000 annual passengers. Being stronger and bigger, the new ferry is able to carry more goods and passengers even during the Khamsin season. Also, the project will contribute to improving the efficiency of Djibouti maritime transport. In this speech, the Ambassador of Japan, Mr. Yonetani, hoped that this new cooperation will contribute not only the acceleration of economic development of the northern region of Djibouti, but also to reinforcement of excellent bilateral relations already existing between the two countries.
The head of diplomacy, Mr. Mahmoud Ali Yusuf, stressed that the objective of this project is to provide a new ferry and to develop the ports to accommodate this new cooperation that have existed for more than 40 years between our two countries. And now the Chinese ambassador to Djibouti, Mr. Zhu Wencheng, hosted a reception yesterday evening at the Kempinski Palace Hotel on the occasion of the 70th anniversary of the founding of the People's Republic of China. Let's hear Mr. Idris Mahmoud.
Organized yesterday at Sheraton Hotel a workshop, restitution of mid-term evaluation of national gender policy on the 2011 and 2016 action matrix. On the other hand, UN Security Council Resolution 1325 and related UN Security Council Resolution on Women, Peace and Security put in place by Djibouti. The workshop focused on two strategic documents on Ministry of Women and Family. The panel was made up Mr. Representative of United Nations and Development Program, UN, Mrs. Fatuma El-Sheikh, the Honorable Member of President of the Forum, Women and Peace and Security, Mrs. Muhammad Hamid, UNFD Secretary General, Mrs. Fatuma Musa Abdi, and Secretary General of Ministry of Women and Family, Mrs. Anissa Hassan Bahdon. After the civil ties, the various personalities who spoke made some interesting recommendations, such as strengthening and intersectoral coordination, mobilizing and funds, and importance of mechanism and following evaluation.
Rapid and continuous economic growth. China is committed to building a harmonious socialist society and pays ever greater attention to social development and the resolution of vital issues for the population, said China Ambassador Zhu Wencheng. And now Minister of Women and Family Affairs, Moumina Ahmed Hassan, emphasized the excellence of our friendly relations between the peoples of the two countries. The minister also congratulated the Chinese people and government on their impressive achievements and remarkable economic progress over the past 70 years. And after 2 years now, the Djibouti-Turkish friendship dam or WEA dam is now operational, with the latest rainfall recorded in the Great Bara sector. The dam records nearly 5.4 million cubic meters of water for a maximum capacity of 14 million cubic meters of water. This project, initiated by the head of state Ismail Margele for multiple objectives, including mitigating the negative effects of floods or certain areas of the capital, Wea, but also retain rainwater in order to develop agro-pastoralism, has now become a tangible reality to this end. The Ministry of Agriculture plans to distribute parcels of land on both sides of the dam to national or foreign investors with the means and capacity to promote viable agricultural projects. Everyone can see for themselves today this real lake coming out of the ground below the crossroad of Arta, founded by the Turkish International Cooperation Agency to the tune of 17.5 million euros and built by a Turkish company. The Wea Dam is currently being finished for works that are due to be completed definitively within the next 3 months. The Minister of Agriculture wishes the contracting authorities for the construction of this dam supervised the various stage of this work, in particular the Major Works Department. The Director of Major Works of the Ministry of Agriculture paid a visit to the head of a delegation from his department yesterday to evaluate the finishing work on this dam. Mr. Aulad on this occasion informed that access to the dam was strictly regulated, indicating to the resident that swimming was strictly prohibited. In the Obak region, construction work on the Ras Sian hotel complex of the international Chinese company Touch Road has started yesterday in the sub-prefecture of Khor Angar. Indeed, a delegation led by the president of the Obak region, Mr. Abdul Qadir Kamil, and including the technician of the Chinese company, yesterday delivered the construction materials for this important hotel infrastructures of international standing to the top of Xi'an. The delegation met first with the prefect of the Obak region, Mr. Abdul Malik Mohammed Bonoita, with whom it clarified the start of work and employment opportunities during the construction phase. The prefect of Obak, Mr. Abdul Malik, announced that the Obak region was looking forward to start of construction work on the Ras Sian hotel complex. He also proposed that the region will grant all the facilities and support the implementation of his hotel projects of the Chinese Touch Road Group. We will have a positive economic and social impact on the Obak region. After the meeting with the prefect of Obak, the delegation led by Deputy Abdul Qadir Kamil and the convoy of Chinese technicians in charge of the construction of the Rasian Hotel complex headed for Xi'an, together with the Angabu sub-prefect Mr. Ahmed Ali. In Xi'an, the Chinese company Touch Road launched the construction work on the hotel complex, whose foundation stone laying ceremony was presided over by Prime Minister Abdul Qadir Kamil in the presence of the officials of the regions. Colonel Wais Omar Baqore, commander of the Djibouti Coast Guard, presided today in the presence of Captain Li Yang, commander of the People's Liberation Army of the People's Republic of China Logistics Support Base. At the ceremony, they inaugurate a radar station located at the new Kor Ambado Coast Guard Training Base. Upon arrival at the site, the delegation led by the commander of the People's Liberation Army of the People's Republic of China Logistics Support Base was warmly welcomed by the commander of the Coast Guards. In his brief, Colonel Wais Bogore stressed the crucial importance of this radar, which will significantly strengthen the permanent surveillance of our territorial water by ensuring the maritime safety and security of sensitive areas. The ceremony ended with a visit to the radar station where Coast Guard technicians were able to provide the necessary information to the official. In his intervention, Colonel Ba'is Omar Bokorre admitted that the establishment of this radar is powerful testimony to the excellent cooperation between the two brotherly and friendly countries, the People's Republic of China and the Republic of Djibouti. After the first contact with the different decentralized service of the region, the new prefect of the Tajura region is in collaboration with the president of the Tajura Regional Council, Mr. Omar Hussein, met in the meeting room of the Regional Council with the district chiefs, the Okal, and the heads of the Tajura Women's Association. During this meeting, the prefect doubly expressed his satisfaction with the effort of women's associations working in such diverse fields and becoming more involved in local development. In his intervention, the prefect stressed the usefulness of preserving the public goods as the cornice, which contributes greatly to the beautification of the city of Tajura. During this fruitful meeting, the prefect doubly recalled that the regional council will fully play its role of guidance to guide you and accompany you so that the population can take advantage of these opportunities. As part of his contact, the prefect of the Ali Sabih region, Mr. Musa Aden Migani, carried out his first working visit to the Ali Sabih sub-prefecture yesterday morning. For details, our reporter, Mr. Idris Mahmoud.
As a part of his contact, the prefect of Al Sabih region, Mr. Musa Aden Migani, made his first travel to work at the sub-prefecture of Ali Adde in yesterday morning, accompanied by the president of regional council, Mr. Omar Ahmed Wa'is, the regional inspector of education, Ahmed Hamadou, the director of Ali Sabih Regional Hospital, the deputy prefect, Mr. Muhammad Abbas, the president of RPP Annex of Ali Sabih, Colonel Abdul Wasi' bin Muhammad Bias of Army Corps Chief, Police Detachment Commander, the Gendarmerie Company Commander of the region, as well as a large delegation surrounded this morning at the sub-prefecture of Ali Adde, where he was warmly welcomed in the sub-prefecture of Shaban Dahir Musa, in the epitome of locality with the enthusiasm and pride. He then spoke with the sub-prefect of the locality as a part of his contact. This meeting took place in the presence of many executives as well as several locals. The new prefect first thanked the people of Ali Adde for the warm welcome with the hedge of honor and then mentioned his speech the purpose of his working visit. The various political and civil personalities present in this consultation meeting take part, then welcomed the new prefect of the region, Mr. Musa Ahmed Migani. Subsequently, the delegation visited various services as a solar power station, the Ali Adde Primary School, Secondary School, the hospital, the refugee school, ongoing infrastructure, the CDC, and the new high school. The prefect was very satisfied with their hospitality.
After the visit, the new prefect of the Ali Sabih region, Mr. Musa Aden Migane, spoke at lunch with the Okals of the region just after the lunch reserved by the Ali Sabih authorities. This meeting took place in the presence of the president of the regional council, Mr. Omar Ahmed Wa'is, the regional inspector of education, Ahmed Hamadou, the director of the regional hospital of Ali Sabih, Deputy Prefect Muhammad Abbas, the President of the Ali Sabih RPP Annex, Colonel Abdul Wasi' bin Muhammad, Chief of the BIAAS Army Corps, the Police Detachment Commander Lieutenant, the Gendarmerie Company Commander. The new prefect of the Ali Sabih region, Mr. Musa Aden, said he appreciated the warm welcome he received from the population of the Ali Adde sub-prefecture and highlighted the project carried out by the government for the locality. And now, driven by the desire to serve and help others, young professionals from the Ministry of Social Affairs and Solidarity are working in the social field. Driven by the desire and duty to help their compatriots and with a sense of responsibility, these young people carry out purely humanitarian work by accompanying and helping the most needy families in their needs, a promising momentum, a social dynamic that can reduce social division and inequalities among the Djiboutian population by recognizing the values of personal responsibilities in the field of working and professional relations, the health and safety of all the persons. It is in this sense that the Ministry of Social Affairs and Solidarity proceeded in the morning of 25 September to launch the first training session to strengthen the capacity of these craftsmen of happiness in Djibouti. Through this training, the aim is to consolidate the skills and knowledge of MASS social workers working in the social field in order to contribute to the construction of a just, equitable nation that respects the rights of all. It should be recalled that the Ministry of Social Affairs and Solidarity has opened 12 social counters in the district of Djibouti City and in the regional council. These staff are the backbone of the minister's entire social policy. They received about 50 complaints a day per counter. This initiative was made by possible thanks to the financial support of UNICEF in partnership with the National Institute of Labor and Social Studies in Tunis. Fidel was frank with the Minister of Social Affairs and Solidarity, who did not fail to stress the importance of this training for these social workers. And now, concern the improvement, a little named misplaced since this morning, called Amina in the PK-12 district in the Gendarmerie Brigade of PK-12. According to information gathered by the gendarmes of PK-12 from the girl, her father's name is Ja'far and her mother's name is Daiba. Her family is asked to pick her up from the Gendarmerie Brigade of PK-12. And now moving on the international news, conservative Sebastian Kurz is well on his way to regaining his seat as chancellor. His political group OVP led the Austrian parliamentary election on Sunday. The party achieved its highest score since 2002. These early elections come 4 months after the Ibiza Gate scandal, which brought down the Kurz government. This Sunday, the party is up by about 6 points compared to the 2017 election, an incredible result according to the young leaders who said he wanted to do his best to serve the Republic of Austria. With 38% of the vote, Sebastian Kurz is in the lead, but will have to forge alliance to govern. A puzzle for the leaders because his former far-right ally, the FPO, has announced that it wants to sit in the opposition. The party had precipitated the fall of the government because of the Ibiza Gate scandal. The formation lost 10 points in this election. At the moment, only 32% of Green voters are in favor of coalitions with Sebastian Kurz's parties. Even fewer supporters of his marriage are in the conservative camp, 20%. Such an alliance would be unprecedented in Austria. And this is it for this edition. Thank you for watching and have a wonderful afternoon.